Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbie. This afternoon, we have another guest speaker. We have Reverend She Mo Onion from Nigeria. All right, woman of God, you're on the air.
Okay, good afternoon. It is night in my country, Nigeria. God bless you. Thank you for having me on your show. God bless you so much.
Yes.
Yes, I really watched the video that is sent to me on white supremacy,
Yes.
and what I saw there really is quite disheartening. All I saw was, if I would just put it, wickedness. Let me just put it like that, wickedness.
Yes.
And from what the Spirit of God is telling me, it did not start today. It's not something that just started. It's been there all over the years. Been there all over the years. And if nothing is done about it, it will spread all over the whole world. That's if it has not spread, but it might increase. So, like I asked, what can your organization do? I know I'm not saying you should stop. You can, as in you can stop it, or that you should stop it. What can you do to contribute in stopping what you know the actions of these wicked people against humanity? Because I see it as wickedness against humanity. Like I saw it. It's not all about the whites against the blacks. In some areas in the world, you still see blacks against blacks, meting out this wickedness against fellow human beings. So right now, what do you think you can do to help to curtail this wickedness that is happening in America?
It's a good question that you asked me. And so basically, this is what I want to share with my listeners right here. It's called The Solution for Black America: Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, second edition. This is my softcover book. It's available on Amazon for $15 plus shipping and handling. But I would like to encourage um people to consider getting my ebook. That's for $9.99, and you can download it to your smartphone. And I have the links in the comment section below this video podcast. And so um, this is how we can do it here in because we want to start it here in America first, woman of God, because this is where I'm at. Jesus slash Yahshua, he gave me this vision. And unfortunately, Black Americans, I have little to no support from them, specifically here in the city of Chicago. And so it is very disheartening. But this is why I created this platform. Um, my first task is to reach out to African immigrants from 10 African nations, as well as Black Americans beyond Chicago, like-minded Black Americans and like-minded African immigrants from South Africa, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Angola, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria, the so-called Sub-Saharan Africa. So those are the areas that the Lord Jesus placed in my heart to try to get African immigrants on board to be involved with this business I'm trying to get off the ground. So if this is the foundation of my Christian business, the name of my Christian business is called the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. So if anybody
Okay.
that purchased my book, You read the whole thing. If you agree with the vision and plan to help improve Black America, specifically Black Chicago, you will automatically become a GRCAM member. However, if you disagree, I don't have time to sit up here and debate with people because we are in bad times right now. So I just tell you to delete me off your friends list. Don't come to no events with my name on it. In my Christian business, woman of God, we want to raise the bar. This is what I mean when I do this. That means we want to
Okay.
separate ourselves from the enemy within. The enemy
The enemy
within,
will do.
yes, the enemy within is con artists, pedophiles, degenerates, hardened criminals, urban terrorists, off-code Negroes, um, Afro coons. So we want to separate ourselves from those people because they have a slave mentality. So we can't build with those type of people. That's part one. And how we're going to be able to separate from them is that once I have my GRCAM members intact, our first task is to help get my revised book on that bestsellers list, so that way I can be in a better position financially to do all this stuff that I talk about. So that's
Okay.
number one. Number two is for those that live specifically in North America. For those persons that become GRCAM members to join my film project team, because we want to turn my book into a movie in order to reach the global Black masses or the Black world. I want them to understand what I've been going through for the past 33 years. Woman of God, again, it's unacceptable that I have little to no support for trying to build something positive. So, again, what we want to build, well, first of all, want to do the film project, get that out there. The proceeds from
Okay.
the film, that's going to put me in a better position financially so that way I can purchase property here in the city of Chicago or
All right. All right.
Chicago, Illinois, and we going to we're going to be Pacific. We're going to focus on the west side of Chicago. So that's going to be Austin, Garfield Park, and North Lawndale. We're going to cover those communities, and then eventually on the south side of Chicago. Um, I want to be able, through the proceeds from the film, be able to hire qualified Black middle class professionals and qualified African immigrants throughout the United States to come here. I need boots on the ground, so I'm going to pay people from the proceeds from the film. That's what the whole reason I'm doing all of this. It's unfortunately I have to make a film to generate capital, but that's what it takes. So it is what it is. But woman of God, I'm almost done. Just hear me out, please. So once we get that taken care of, we have to build this. So GRCAM members, we're going to build this together. Um,
Okay.
black Americans, that's GRCAM members, and African immigrants, that's GRCAM members. We're going to build the best African American business within the United States of America, and that is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. That's what it is. And that's what I want to be known for. And before I bring my business over to the African continent, this is what I want the whole Black world to know. It wasn't me by myself, it was, other people, because this is a Nehemiah assignment. I can't do all this stuff myself, woman of God. So, what we want to do and how we're going to help counter this white supremacy, we got to, first of all, we have to heal as Black Americans. We have to heal from that slave mentality, which is the Willie Lynch mentality. We got to heal from
Slave
that as
mentality.
Black Americans.
Okay.
African immigrants is going to have to heal from that colonized mindset, because they think that because they over here in the West, specifically in America, that they made it to heaven. You know what I'm saying? That
Oh,
I can live my American dream and all that stuff, and that's true. They can. However, they forget that all the natural resources from Africa, that's what's keeping America a first world nation, and the West. Without Africa resources, um, uh, Europe and America, Canada, they wouldn't be a first world nation. And so
Yes.
that's how come I'm very proud of our brothers from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger for finally, getting on code, standing up to the French and kicking them out. Because ever since the Europeans came to the African continent, Africa has been going through hell. So I'm glad that they finally kicked those people out, but um, that should be a model for the rest of the African countries to think about what how they got freed from colonization. That's all I'm saying. That should be y'all example. Um.
All right.
So anyway, in this Christian business, what we want to do is we're gonna have it's gonna be two sectors, for-profit sector and the nonprofit sector. The for-profit sector, that's how I'm going to make my bread and butter. We are going to own and control our own community grocery store, community healthcare clinic, and community housing. And with that, woman of God, I'm going to be able to create jobs for GRCAM members.
Okay.
That's part one. Part two is we're going to have, the nonprofit portion of the business. And part two is, like I say, that's going to be a nonprofit portion. We're going to hold mandatory orientation. So, and we also want to build a connection with the community that we serve. That's what makes us different than, I'm going to say, Pan Africanism. They got good ideas and all that stuff, but we want to work with people on the ground in the community, and we want to
Yes.
eventually become the heart of the community. We
Oh,
want to
yes.
work with the masses, basically. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Provide jobs for the people in the community, well, in Chicago specifically, to get our youth from being out in the streets, keep them out of gangs by giving them something positive to do, to be part of our Black empowerment films so we can pay them, so that they can feed their families. That's what we want to do in this business, okay? And it's based on 9 components. I'm gonna just go through them. A social service component. So we want to make sure that we strengthen the Black family and the African family. We're gonna have number two, a spiritual component. It's gonna be optional for secular people. We're not gonna impose telling them that they have to be a Christian and they have to accept, Jesus. We want them to have a personal relationship with Jesus/Yahshua. That's what this is all about in the first place. You don't try to make people do something, because God give us free will. Um, Number three, we're gonna have a political component where we're gonna teach our members and students the importance about politics. So that's very important. Number four, we're going to have an entrepreneur component. We're going to teach our members and students how to create nonprofits and for-profit businesses. So that way they'll know how to do that on their own. I know how to do it. So this is my way of passing down my knowledge. Number five, we're going to have enter yes, an entertainment component where we promote Black empowerment films in this business. And also in my business, we want to promote Black economic empowerment. That's what's important, woman of God. Number six, we're going to have a Black grassroots media component. And that's kind of what this is right here. Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast is our Black media component. But I don't own, like when I upload the videos, I don't own YouTube and the other social media sites that I'm on. So we're gonna eventually own our own media sites. That's how come it's important I get people involved. Number 7, we're going to have a health and wellness component. 8, science and technology component, and 9, travel and tourism components. Now, woman of God, what I'm trying to explain to you as well as to my listeners, we want to get it popping here in Chicago, Illinois. We want to do it here first for credibility. So when I come over to Africa, I can bring economic tangibles. So since you live in Nigeria, let me focus on Nigeria and why this is why Nigerians should embrace this. Because we're going to solve your 2 major problems in Nigeria. Rolling blackouts, which means load shedding. You know, the lights goes off at certain times and stuff like that. So we want to help with that, as well as water filtration, clean running water in the urban areas as well as in the rural areas. That's what we want to bring. We want to bring that in terms of, I would say, Black Americans that's GRCAM members in exchange for dual citizenship in your country. And we want to also help improve the Nigerian economy. We're going to do all that stuff for you all in exchange for dual citizenship. So I am going to have to talk with your government, let them know what we want to do there. This should be, and we're going to create jobs for the locals who first we want you to be join the grassroots community activist movement to become a member.
Okay.
So again, you're going to say, well, Emmanuel, how does that counter or fight against white supremacy? Well, like I say, we as Black people and as African people, we're not in a position right now to fight against white supremacy because we got to heal. Like I say, from this, for Black Americans, they got to heal from that slave mentality. African immigrants got to heal from that colonized mindset, as well as Native Africans got to heal from that colonized mindset. And in my business, we're going to respect each other's culture in this business. We're going to learn how to do business together. That's what God called me to do. We want to do this that's why it's grassroots. It starts here. And we want to replicate this business on the African continent. Like I say, eventually expand to 10 African nations, so that way we can do international trade with each other. Eventually, we expand it to, I don't know, maybe not in my lifetime, but I'm just putting it out there. We eventually go to the Caribbeans, do the same thing, set up local chapters so we can replicate the business. That's all, and eventually get to Brazil. So that way we have a connection with Brazil as well. Now, global white supremacy is all over the world. And you see the different videos that I try to let people see that I post on my, I would say, during my audio podcasts. You know, I try to show people, you know, that's my receipts. So, for example, in the UK, they are upset about a lot of immigrants, especially from Africa, and the Caribbeans are coming over there, as well as, like you mentioned earlier, people from, I would say, the Middle East. So they have a lot of Middle Easterners, that's foreigners, that's going over to the UK. And I'm using the UK as an example. It's not just the UK, this is all over Europe. But what's happening is that they are upset that, you know, a lot of foreigners are coming there, but they forget that they destabilize these white supremacist financial elites, destabilize people's, you know, their countries. You know, you messed up their economy, because that's what white supremacy is all about, destroying somebody else's culture and dominating them and colonizing them. And then, you know, they don't have anything. So what the white supremacist financial elites want to do. They want to take all the natural resources from Africa, just take it all so that way African children can just sit up here and die. And that's not right. African resources belong to Africans. That's how come I want to come to Africa. But I got to, before I can come to Africa, I got to get it started here because my people are hurt in in the black ghettos. They're being overlooked by society. And even none of my family members, I'm not going to allow them to be a part of my business because they have that slave mentality. They tell me, oh, Emmanuel, you should leave all that black stuff alone. Get a real job, quote unquote, work for the white man, pay your taxes, and live your life. Don't worry about what's going on with black people in the black ghettos. So if anybody tell me that kind of garbage, they would not be part of my business, and we would remain strangers for life. If I'm like this with my own flesh and blood, how you think I'm going to be like with strangers? So, woman of God, before I know it's long-winded, but this is not just some empty, quick question, for me to explain. I'm trying to tell people in depth that it starts with the mindset. It starts with people that's going to be in agreement because I can't build with everybody. Again, I've been pushing my vision and plan for the past 33 years. And I'm still on first base, and that's unacceptable. This is why I'm reaching out to the global African family. I say, look, I want to work with you all. I want to be a part of Africa Rising. I want to contribute to that. But help me encourage your family from your African nation that lives here in America, specifically from those 10 African nations I mentioned. Encourage them to purchase my book. Encourage them to be part of my film project and work with me to help speed up the process. Now I know eventually Black Americans is going to get on board because once they see it materialize that we're making an impact in the African American community, they're going to want to be a part of us. But again, long as they go through the proper channels and they become a GRCAM member, then I'll work with them. But the ones that rejected me for the past 33 years, I'm not letting them in there because they're just trying to get in there, trying to get in my pockets. What else I want to say to you about all of this is that yes, all I have is my revised book and my virtual store. And now I want to do a film project that's very important so I can do all this stuff I talk about. Okay, woman of God, do you have any question about what I just said?
No, but one interesting thing you talked about is the healing aspect. The slave mentality healing.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's very, very important. I want you to know this healing is not only about the blacks. The whites also need healing because their problem is
Hold on,
insecurity.
woman of God. Hold on, woman of God. I gotta intervene and say something about that, and I'm gonna try to hurry up before our time run out. So, in my Christian business, not non-black sympathizers, they can join us. However, not as groups, but as individuals, because
Yes.
there's too many. Because yeah, they need forgiveness and all that stuff. But hold on now, before we start talking about all that forgiveness. They owe us reparations, woman of God. So I need to know where that person stands as it pertains to lineage-based cash payment reparations for descendants of American slaves / freedmen. Do you agree or do you disagree? If they disagree, they can't be a part of my business. If they say they agree, then cool. They could be a part of us. They can take a back seat, keep their mouth closed in this Christian business or in my business. We're not going to be colonized. We're only using an Afrocentric perspective. Over here, we're M1. We're melanated first. Nothing else on earth matters to us. Our focus is on solving our own issues, solving black issues. When I come to Africa, our focus will be only on solving African issues. Nothing else on earth matters. So all these other groups, if they want to come in and be a part of us, that's fine. But they have to take a back seat and keep their mouth closed. We're not going to let them colonize us.
Yeah.
And they have to pay a reparation tax. That's just how it is over here. Yes, yes, God love all of us, but woman of God, these are the people that started all these problems. We didn't have all these issues until the white supremacist financial elites came from Europe and touched on the African continent, stealing our resources. That's not right. Imposing their culture on us. I have videos that's telling this. I can show you, and I can share with my audience about even they're trying to recolonize Nigeria. So it's horrible. We don't want to be colonized, woman of God. We want to be free,
Yeah.
and we want to be able to embrace African culture. We're not trying to be Europeans. They don't like us and they hate us. They need to go about their business, but they can't have our resources then. So if they want our resources, they're going to have to pay us reparations, or we won't do business with them. It's just that simple. What else you want to say, woman of God?
No, and nothing else. I heard everything you said,
Well, what I want to
and it's
say,
very, very important.
what I want to say is that I want to get more people such as yourself to be on my team. For example, once I get my Christian business up and running here in America, or specifically Chicago, like I said, I want to turn the business over. I want to bring it to the African continent. I want to make sure before I cut and run to Africa that my business partner, Sister Renee, is well taken care of, because she's been working with me from behind the scenes for 13 years. So we're gonna honor her by giving her we're gonna dedicate a local chapter for her in West Memphis, Arkansas. And if her family members want to get on board and help her, build up the business there, that's cool. I can't do that with my family. Again, my family is full of that slave mentality, so I'm not gonna. None of my family members is gonna be part of my business. So that's how come it's important that I can pass down this business to GRCAM members to take it on. But I'm going to turn it over to my management team. I'm coming to South Africa, and I want to prove to Africans such as yourself, Native Africans, that I mean business. I want to apply for dual citizenship. I want to set up GRCAI of South Africa. And I want to shoot my second film, which would be African Liberator, Battle Against the Colonized Mindset. And I'm going to give you and other my international friends that came on this platform an opportunity to come to South Africa to audition for a role in the film. That's my way of trying to say thank you. When I was small, when I was here in America doing these podcasts, that I really appreciate that you're coming on the show. Again, all I'm asking for people to do is read my story, purchase my revised book, get the ebook. That's the cheapest one for $9.99. Download it to your smartphone, read the whole story. If you agree with my vision and plan, you automatically become a GRCAM member. Again,
Okay.
the book is $9.99. And work with me, because I can't do everything. Work with me to help turn this thing into a reality. We all get on one accord. We all are gonna learn how to do international trade with each other, and we're gonna put that white supremacist stuff down at the burner, at the bottom. We don't want to be colonized and all that stuff. Something else too I want to say, woman of God, before our time is up, is it's on the tip of my tongue. I wish that I could say it because it's coming and going, but yes, thank you, Lord. So in the book of, I need people Woman of God, do you have access to your Bible right now or not?
I have.
Do you got King James Version?
Yes, I do.
All right, do me a favor, please. Can you please go to Luke chapter 2, verse 1, and read that verse for me, please. Because
Luke 2:1.
yeah, Luke chapter 2, verse 1. Read that, please.
Okay.
Because that's white supremacy right there. That's what started all this mess. Can you
Okay.
read it, please? Read it.
Okay. Say it, I read.
Yes.
Yes. For as much as many have taken in hand to set forth in order a declaration of those things which are most surely believed. Okay, he said 2:1. 2 Luke 2:1. Sorry, I was reading 1 verse 1. Let me get to Luke chapter 2, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Am I in order?
That's right. That's right. And basically, that's where white supremacy came from.
Okay.
That's where that came from because they were under
All
the
right.
impression. I'm saying from a spiritual perspective, that's where white supremacist financial elites thought that they owned this whole world. You know that hey, we're gonna come over and we're going to dominate, and it's all based on economics. In my Christian business, we want to promote a kingdom economy where people, can survive without having to go through what they're going through under this capitalism. Okay, I want you to read another verse, please. Acts chapter 17, verse 6 through 7. Can you do that for me, please, before we run out of the time?
Acts chapter 17,
Yeah.
verses 6 to 7.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And it says, and when they found them not, they drew Jason and certain brethren unto the rulers of the city, crying, these that have turned the world upside down are come hither also, whom Jason had received, and these all do contrary to the decree of Caesar, saying that there is another king, one Jesus.
That's right. Because see, he was under the impression that he's the only king, and that but they just kind of reminded him that it's somebody else that's above him. That's all I'm
Oh,
saying,
yeah,
woman of God. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
that's it. That's it.
Yes. But
Hmm.
anyway, in our business, we're not trying to take over the world. We're not trying to sit up here and steal people resources. We want to be left alone and practice our own
Okay.
culture. Practice African culture. That's what we want to practice. We don't want to be European. So, like what's going on right now in South Africa in Cape Town, they want to separate them. They want to break away that town to be its own country, an independent country. If those people feel that way, they need to take themselves back to Europe. But anyway, I'm not over there yet. But that's what I want to encourage South Africans to get on that. We as Africans, we can't go to Europe and say that we want to have our own town separate from Europe. We can't do that stuff. So they always want to dictate to us what we can and can't do. But they want to do whatever they want to do on our continent. We can't have that. We have to reclaim our continent. Again, God is the one that blessed Africa with all the natural resources and minerals that belongs to Black Africans, not Europeans.
Oh, yes, yes. I think that there should be a general understanding that we too, God created the black man for a purpose.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And no man should be more superior over another. We have our our calling. We all have our calling. There is a purpose God created everyone And before God, there is no color, there is no black, there is no white. There is no black, there is no white. I want to back up this particular.
Hold on, woman of God. Before you go there, please, I need you to read something for me, okay? One more verse, okay?
What?
Okay, read
What's
Ezekiel.
that? What do we back?
Yes, read
Ezekiel,
Ezekiel
okay?
chapter 34, verses 11 through.
34.
Yes, because God does see color, woman of God. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I wanted to tell
34.
people that.
34
Ezekiel,
verse what?
yes, Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 11 through 16.
It's okay. For thus says the Lord God, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land, and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers, and in all the inhabited places of the country. I will feed them in a good pasture and upon the high mountains of Israel, and their food be theirs, and their fold be, there shall they live in a good fold, and in a fat pasture shall they feed upon the mountains of Israel. I will feed my flock, and I will cause them to lie down, said the Lord God. Am I true?
Yes, you're through. And
Okay.
there was something else I wanted to find in the Bible, and I don't have that on me, but I'm just gonna say this to you, okay?
All
And
right.
maybe, and maybe you can find it too. But anyway, when Jesus was sitting at the well, it was